All right. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video for them DJ boys. Another episode of. I guess this would officially be the first episode of What I Know, because the first one was just. The other one before this video was just a starter kit for DJ. And this is going to be a What I Know regarding DJ's throw. It's a very, very huge part of DJ's kit in Street Fighter 6. And besides the universal change to back throw that they made, his throw has largely remained the same. And it's so important to him that people sometimes jokingly refer to him as a grappler, which I think there's some truth to that. So, why is it good? Because it's plus 34. And you can do way too many things with this throw. Way too many things. And as a DJ player, it's super important to know like the ins and outs of this. And we'll start with how his throw works in the neutral. So you're plus 34 in the neutral. And if your opponent back techs, obviously there's a lot of space there. And if you watch my starter kit guide on DJ's throw, because I do mention that in terms of like Oki in common situations, it's really worth knowing how this situation plays out because you will get it so often. And one of the prime ways you end up getting this option is through drive rush jab, or drive rush medium punch until a throw, or medium soba, drive rush up, throw again, heavy soba, throw, make them block for medium kick into throw, all these things. So regardless, let's say you threw them in the open, okay? Now, there's more than a few ways you can go about doing something after this, or in this scenario, and it all kind of depends on the context and what you want, and kind of, you know, your info on the opponent thus far. The most basic thing to do is just forward dash drive rush medium punch, because if you look at the frame data here, to my right, there's a 2-frame gap. Okay. The only issue with this is that you end up being plus 6, but too far to really do anything, and your lights don't connect from here. You can drive rush here and then try to hit confirm the target combo, which can be useful. But you're plus 6, and unless you add like a manual delay timing there, you won't. The chances are it'll just be a block string anyway. So what you can do instead is use this as an opportunity to bully their drive gauge, you know, or like walk up, do a little micro walk there to continue doing something else. There's no clear mix-up potential here as DJ in terms of like a straightforward strike throw because of how much space there is created between the two of you. So in that case, you just want to try building the layers there, right? I already mentioned micro walk, but you could also micro walk backwards and then do a crouching medium kick, which works very well against people who know how to play against DJ to some degree. They'll often hold back or hold down back for a second and then walk back to option select some of your pressure. But you can trip them up and continue things from there. Although the main mix from this specific route is to do nothing and just finish your drive rush up and then throw. Although this loses to people doing delayed jab on the way up, right? And you also have to time this, which can be quite annoying. Right, and look at that big gap in the frame bar. So, risky, worth repping. And you also have to keep in mind that this is vulnerable to wake up reversals. If they end up back teching, it's not, because you can sway. But a lot of players who know the matchup will often not back tech and try to confirm whether or not you're dashing into drive rush, which is something you can react to. So that works there. And they recover in place. You get it. Right? Worth keeping in mind. And there's no way for you to recover in time to make this not hit you. Can DI them. So keep that in mind. There's all kinds of layers there. So that's just drive rush, medium punch. You can also get super precise with it and time a drive rush jab. Because if you do this correctly, see, I was a little late there. So that was good for me. I did it right because you can tell there's only 1 frame gap there. But you still have to micro walk and throw sometimes. It just kind of depends on how well you did the timing. So again, very precise thing to do. Great if you can do it consistently, but not something that I choose to go for. Another great check. Crouching light punch, +4. You're still in range to, you know, poke them afterwards. As well as, if it hits them, you'll always be able to get crouching medium kick or crouching heavy punch. You might be able to get medium kick here too. Yeah, you can get medium kick. Not that that matters too much, but crouching light punch is great to rep every now and again, just to make you a little, like, it plays with the spacing and their expectation of how close and far you are. So you can do things like, if they do tend to like poke back, you can do stuff like that to walk and then walk back afterwards, see if they do anything, you know. If you're, especially this is great if you have the advantage in the life lead or the resources in general and you don't feel the need to press your advantage. It's a great way of hanging back and seeing what they do, because you're not risking dying up here, right? And I believe even if they wake up perfect parry, they end up being not close enough to do too much here. Oh, I take that back. I say. Well, there you go. So, keep that in mind. Now, another option you can do is just straight up dash dash. But you are minus here. You don't have actual Oki. And if they wake up 4 frame immediately, you will get hit. You can't block in time. But it is worth repping just to maintain pressure. And also, this game is fast, and it's one of those things where you try to, if they're looking for all kinds of other things, it's not unoften for you to be able to just get away with the double dash. But besides that, you have just raw drive rush as well, and this is what I mean about like why his throw key is so important, is because you have so much you can do, and it opens up a lot of doors. You can raw drive rush just to keep spacing and remain within like a threatening range. You can raw drive rush, time a medium kick. You can raw drive rush, delay medium, crouching medium kick. I find this quite useful as well. Because even if they block this, the pushback plus the drive rush plus frames makes it -2, just like your crouching medium punch. And of course, drive rush, crouching heavy as well. Yeah. And you'll have to look into the conversions and stuff like that on your own, but those are some basic things. Another worthy mention is drive rush time for medium kick. This is quite dangerous because it is pseudo-reactable. Because, again, it says 19 frames, but in actuality, it's 22 frames. But you can be super plus off after this. And you are a little closer as well because the pushback on it is less. And you can get all kinds of nasty conversions off this if it hits, especially if they mash, because, you know, +6, plus, you know, the 2 extra frames, you know, you end up being +11, I think, in totality. Although you know, in classic DJ fashion, a lot of your conversions here are just a bit awkward. One more thing is, and this is one that I will randomly spice in there, but I don't necessarily recommend it because it's definitely reactable, is you just drive rush, manually time slide. And the reason why is because you can be anywhere from 0 to +1 to +2, and this is in throw range. But you know, it's drive rush on top of a slide move, and if you're hitting on the last 2 or so active frames, you're what, 22, 23 frames in of your move. Definitely reactable. They can OD reversal or wake up super on reaction, you know, all these kinds of things. So not a great risk to take, but it can catch your opponent slipping as a way to change things up. The last thing is his throw Oki at the wall. Now this is where things get really, really nice. And this is where you kind of have to make your own decision as a DJ player and as a Street Fighter player as to what you find valuable in terms of your access to options and your meaties and your spacing. Because DJ has roughly 4, sometimes 5, depending on the character, main ways of following up on his throw at the wall. The first one is one that I outlined in the starter kit. Dash jab. +3 for a meaty throw. It's not a safe throw, unfortunately, but it's very consistent, and it also leads nicely into all kinds of other things, as well as allowing you to maintain your charge, right? You do this, and if you're throwing, and they wake up and do a jump, you already have charge, and then you can let your up kick through. And that does take some getting used to do, but essentially all I'm doing is I'm doing dash jab, and as soon as I hit jab, I'm pressing down, right? And you should recover as soon as your throw animation is over with enough charge to hit the up kicks, right? Yeah, look, this is 34, 36, and then, yeah, I have extra frames here, actually. And it'll be, you know, any jump arc at this point, except for, you know, Cammy doing instant air option, instant dive kick, instant air legs from Chun-Li, all the like. So that is my preferred main option, because not only does it give me the meaty throw, I can also do a meaty back heavy kick, and there's a 3-frame gap there, so it will catch people jumping grounded, which is nice for hit confirms and stuff. And it's also nice for having manually delayed options to beat, you know, people doing delay defensive options. So the reason why this works is because usually when people do a delayed option in Street Fighter, it's around a 4 to 6, 7-ish frame window that they press a delayed button. It can be greater or less, or sometimes people mash immediately. So if you do something like dash, jab, crouching heavy punch, rather than having to manually delay your timing to manually beat their delay timing, this is just an artificial way of creating it so you can consistently have that delayed timing later. And you can also work your way down the frames. Let's say they're doing, you know, delay throw in this case, right? So that's not going to hit. That does. So you have an 8-framer, and if you feel like this is too fast, you can just go straight to medium kick as well. And you still get your combos because that's +6. As well as still being able to walk shimmy. So, great option, I think, and worth repping. On top of this, his throw key continues to unfold. There's so much here for DJ. Now, you can do a safe meaty jab with DJ here as well. And the way that you do it is that you forward dash and then you do a light chain. Crouching light punch, standing light punch. Like that. And this will beat all level 1s that are 10 frames or slower. All supers in general that are 10 frames or slower. Actually 9 frames as well, I think. So against characters like Rashid, Aki, Cammy, Akuma, you know, you can go down the list and look at different character supers and stuff. Against DJ, actually. Kimberly, Manon, wake up level 1 specifically, not wake up level 2. It's a great way of maintaining pressure, and it's a great way of having an easy access to tick throws. Right? And just to showcase, if someone with a 10 frame super or something around that were to wake up, no delay on the timing, you recover in time.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and this also works against Ed and all of his supers, as well as slow OD reversals. Another nice thing to keep in mind, if you want a tick throw that has a built-in shimmy, per se, if you can even call it that, is you just do the opposite. Dash, jab, and then light chain into crouching light. And it leaves you just outside of throw range. And you can choose your own punish there. Yeah? And the reason why this works, or I prefer this over doing this over just another bump bump, crouching light into standing light, is because if you do the standing light, you have to manually backwalk. Yeah. So, pick and choose, pick and choose. Now, there's another layer, right? So this is all just off of forward dash. You can do anything that you want after forward dash. And again, the main thing for me being dash, walk shimmy, dash, jab frame kill. You can even dash and then manually time your medium punch to be extra meaty, but that can be, you know, you can drop that sometimes, or extra plus. And the reason and the strong points about this, besides having as many options as you do, besides having access to a meaty jab that beats level 1s, or slow reversals in general, like drive reversal. Another benefit to this is no matter what option you end up choosing for Oki, unless you do the walk shimmy that is specifically, you will have charge for if they decide to jump, right? Because you can be charging while you're pressing your options there. This next option does not have that, And all it is just a straight up walk. But the reason why this is good is because this is a lot more ambiguous as to what you're doing. It's also a lot it's more demanding on you as the player because you have to know where your spacing is. Right? Sometimes you can manually walk forward and try to walk shimmy but be too close and then you get tossed. So that's not helpful. But generally, I do find this gets a lot more reactions out of people in general because they can't tell where you're stopping when you're doing this walk. You will, if you do end up walk shimmy or staying outside of throw range for the shimmy, you will recover or you will have enough charge to heavy up kicks. But you will not have charge if you walk up and throw again. And they immediately jump, right? So that's where these two kind of differ. Where if I do the dash jab maybe throw setup, but they jump the throw, I'll have charge. But if I walk up, I will not. Yeah, and it's just like a few frames shy. 4, 7, 8, yeah, 38 frames. I think I'm doing it a little earlier, but again, that's kind of what you're playing with there, right? You get a more ambiguous mix-up, but it's more demanding on you as the player to properly time your throw or walk to a specific spacing. And having charge in a different situation depending on whether or not you crouched out of throw range or not. Another thing that's worth doing throw key-wise is a timed medium slash. And if you do this proper, you can be anywhere from like +8 to +12, I think, if you hit it. Yeah, +10. And if it works on hit, you have conversions as well. +12. You can be anywhere from +15 as well. And whether or not you want to do this or do like a micro walk back, both are solid options depending on the situation. Like if you have Guile at the wall, his level 3 has a lot of range. So if you do something like this and you don't micro walk back and you just wake up level 3, it'll clip you. But if you micro walk back first, this will get you out of range and still, you know, but you're farther out of range, so you can't do a conversion like heavy punch here. So this is specifically good if you want to bully their drive gauge, because if they do block this, they have to hold your next hit. And what I end up doing is heavy kick. And you can also just do it immediately. So they'll see you with they'll see you do the medium slash and they'll wake up and parry, and then you just walk up and punish the parry. Very useful in general, worth exploring, and also adding to your kit depending on the situation and what you want. One more option that is, you know, in terms of useful against the entire cast is light feint soba, right? So the reason why this is useful is because this also leaves you just outside of throw range, and all you need to do in order to get into throw range is to micro walk a little bit, right? So why is this useful? Besides what I just stated, you can maintain charge the whole time, which is really nice. You're within range to, you know, micro walk forward and throw. It's a little more canned and straightforward than spacing your own like forward walk. And specifically, you can use back heavy kick here as a meaty and have it be safe from essentially everything that I've tested. So back heavy kick itself is -5 on hit, or -5 on block. And this is punishable. Especially against someone like Ed, right? He has his crouching light kick. If I want to turn this on. Yeah. Now, a lot of people think, well, why don't you just special cancel into sway? Possible. What if they jump on you? What if they DI? You know, it opens this possibility of you guessing wrong or reacting incorrectly. So while sway is definitely good here for a safe, you know, block confirm, you know, it leaves you in an undesirable spot sometimes. And same thing for, well, you could just do heavy slap. Counter hit conversion, all the good stuff. And it's safe on block. Again, great, but you end up being -3 in their face. You have to take the throw. And even if you're out of spacing for them to throw, a lot of people know this situation and they'll just walk up a little bit and throw you. Right? So you end up taking a mix. And then this is also weak to DI. And of course you can do back heavy kick and a medium slash to counter the DI, but then you're -5 and they can punish you again, right? So why invite any of this on you when you can just perfectly space a back heavy kick and do nothing after that? And also have some decent spacing in between the two of you. And that's what the light Sobot does. And this is one of my favorite reasons to do this meaty. Because I get a very nice and easy hit confirm. I get to do drive gauge damage because it's a heavy. I still have all the options of doing back heavy kick into this, into whatever, you know, all the things, while also not having to be forced to special cancel back heavy kick. So keep that in mind. And of course you can just manually do this from any of the aforementioned setups. But you have to be very precise, right? So check that out and test that. Now the very, very last thing throw Oki wise that is specific for DJ and worth keeping in mind is against characters that have slow anti-airs or wake up supers like Bison. So you can get a pseudo safe jump against characters like Bison, against characters like Aki, against characters like JP. JP you have to do jump knee shot specifically. But against characters like Bison, you can do just raw forward jump into heavy punch. And you can test all these options out yourself. The reason why this works, you know, and of course you could just empty jump as well. And even if he tries to do wake up crouching heavy punch, if you, well, that's me not timing right. Yeah. It's a big combo damage, right? So this is worth going through and testing out different interactions, but as a little, you know, intro thing, because I don't want to spend your time to go through all the characters and stuff and show you personally, but check out Bison. This works on Bison, Aki, Ed, JP, let me see, Zangief, Kimberly. Basically anyone who has a very slow wake up super, as well as not having a fully invincible anti-air on wake up, right? Like a DP, you know? Though there are certain interactions that can happen where, you know, certain supers will catch you out of the air if you end up committing to the jump heavy punch. So that will happen against his level 3. But you can do a specific timing to this, or just do nothing. To block. So this is not exactly a great risk for the Bison player to take, you know. So worth checking out for sure, and you can always do knee shot as well. Now, of course, this doesn't take care of things like perfect parry, so use at your own risk. But you know, just one more way that you can take DJ's throw Oki. Yeah. So check that out. I hope all that stuff helps. And as a quick summary, try to get very intimate with the neutral situation after throw. You can do raw drive rush, you can do dash drive rush, medium punch, or light punch, or crouching light, or crouching heavy. Make them stop pressing on wake up so you could fully drive rush in and throw. You can do a manually timed forward medium kick, manually timed crouching heavy. There's so much stuff you can do there. And really, it's purely up to you. Just raw dash up. But then your minus. The four main ways and things you would want to keep in mind at the wall is what you would do after a forward dash. Just walking up. Light sobot. And a timed medium slash. Yeah? So good luck out there. I do stream on Twitch. So if you have any questions, come through, let me know, and I'm sure we can talk it out. So have fun, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the streets.